Germany reports over 1,000 unidentified drone incidents. Ukraine strikes Russia Saratov oil refinery and sea terminal in Crimea, and how Ukrainians army chief comments on unmanned systems development. The latest news next. In 2025, Germany saw a significant increase in cases of unauthorized use of unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the year, over 1,000 cases have been recorded, according to the Wall Street Journal. According to the agency, the German Federal Criminal Police Office has registered over 1,000 such incidents this year. A representative of the German Interior Ministry specified that the number of incidents reached a small four-digit number, which averages about 3 cases per day. According to him, reports on the appearance of drones are now published more frequently, once every 2 weeks instead of quarterly. These measures are related to the intensification of the fight against espionage. According to German intelligence services, with which the publication was familiarized, both small commercial drones and groups of large unmanned aerial vehicles appear in the sky over the country. Despite active monitoring, the authorities have not yet been able to identify the persons who launched the drones. Most incidents remain unsolved and are contained in classified reports. The irregularity of drone raids is also noted in Belgium, which is why flight restrictions are constantly being imposed at the kingdom's airports. In October alone, the Ukrainian Armed Forces unmanned aerial systems struck approximately 77,000 Russian targets, according to Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky.
I held another working meeting on the development of unmanned systems in the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The priority scaling of unmanned systems units is yielding concrete results. The number of enemies destroyed is growing.
According to him, in October, Ukrainians' unmanned aerial systems hit 77,000 Russian targets. FPV drones and heavy bombers showed the best combat performance. About ground drones use.
We are actively increasing our ground robotic systems. With the expansion of kill zones, they are becoming an integral part of modern technological warfare. The primary task of using the ground-based robotic complex is to save the lives of personnel.
The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine also emphasizes that the logistical role of ground-based unmanned systems is constantly growing. In October, they delivered almost 3,000 kilograms of provisions.
I listened to the intelligence report on the development of Russia's unmanned forces. Russians are following our experience, in particular in the creation of regiments of unmanned systems and interceptor drones, and are directing significant resources to this. We must constantly improve to maintain our technological advantage.
New tactics for using drones. He also stresses that special attention is being paid to scaling up the unmanned systems forces, increasing the number of trained crews, recruiting personnel, and creating infrastructure for their effective operation.
During the meeting, I listened to reports from combat commanders on the implementation of new tactics for the use of drones and systems that are more resistant to Russian electronic warfare and more effective in combat. All successful cases that increase Russian losses will be promptly scaled up in the armed forces.
The effectiveness of electronic warfare systems against Russian drones is also increasing. Work is also continuing on the quality and quantity of stations. In October, twice as many short-range electronic warfare systems were delivered to the front compared to September. On the night of November 11th, Ukrainian Defense Forces attacked the Saratov oil refinery and the marine terminal in the temporarily occupied city of Feodosia, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine.
As part of efforts to reduce the Russian military and economic potential, on the night of November 11th, units of the Ukrainian Defense Forces struck the Saratov oil refinery in the Saratov region of the Russian Federation.
The enterprise produces more than 20 types of petroleum products, including gasoline, fuel oil, diesel fuel, vacuum gas oil, technical sulfur, and others. The plant is also involved in supplying the needs of the Russian army. A series of explosions was recorded at the refinery, followed by a massive fire in the area. The results of the strikes are being clarified. The sea oil terminal in Feodosia, a key hub for the supply of fuel and lubricants by sea to the Crimean Peninsula and the temporarily occupied territories of southern Ukraine, was also hit. Hits on tanks on the territory of the facility have been recorded. The extent of the damage is being clarified, Ukrainian General Staff adds. In addition, in the temporarily occupied territory of the Donetsk region, strikes were carried out on a Russian warehouse in Donetsk and the concentration of manpower in the Ocheretino area. Strike drones reached the target areas. The results are being clarified. Analysts at the Institute for the Study of War have noted that the situation near the cities of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd in the Donetsk region remains difficult, as Ukrainian forces are fighting to hold the flanks of a so-called pocket while Russian forces continue their offensive in the area, reported by ISW. Ukrainian forces have reportedly liberated Rodinske, located north of Pokrovsk, as part of efforts to secure the northern flank of the pocket. Ukrainian troops are also launching counterattacks inside Pokrovsk and on its western outskirts to stop further Russian advances on the southern flank of the pocket.
Russian advances in northern and western Pokrovsk have slowed in recent days, likely due to continued Ukrainian efforts to counterattack.
Meanwhile, Russian troops are pushing forward in the eastern and southern areas of the city, possibly trying to form a smaller pocket to help encircle Ukrainian forces in Pokrovsk and eventually force their withdrawal from the larger area. Russian forces are also believed to maintain their fire advantage over Ukrainian supply routes into the pocket, making logistics more difficult for Ukrainian defenders. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Support Ukraine, like and subscribe.